Hey guys! Welcome back to Likewise Pod's 12 Days of Podmas. We're here on day 7. I'm Isa.
And I'm Sam, and we're so excited to cozy up for another episode today.
So grab your cocoa or any other favorite seasonal bev.
Because it's time to get holly jolly. Yay. Day 7 already. That's so wild.
I know. Feels like just yesterday we were on day 1.
Yeah, and I mean, it feels like even just today we were on day 3. That's how I feel.
If you've been listening to the previous 6 days, you'll know that we're not doing our typical intro for our 12 Days of Podmas, but we are still having some fun with it. And we're answering the question every day, what candy cane flavor are you? And so, Sam, what candy cane flavor do you feel like right now?
Okay, today I'm feeling really basic. I'm feeling just plain classic peppermint. And part of this was because I just felt like a clean girl today. Like, I was a little productive earlier, and I just jumped from task to task. Like, I finished one thing and I was like, okay, I was painting something. So I was like, I need to let this dry and then come back to it to finish it. And so I got up and was like, I'll go take my body shower now. And then I put on this little long sleeve cropped lounge top from Aerie with some super high rise sweatpants, and I'm wearing all neutral colors. So I felt like I was giving clean girl, even though I don't really like the clean girl aesthetic whole thing, because if I don't know, it reminds me of the That Girl thing, and if you want to listen to our episode on that, you totally should.
Agree.
But yeah, for those reasons, I felt like classic peppermint.
And that's really funny because I also feel like classic peppermint, but for a wildly different reason. So if you're listening to this today on December 7th, and you've been listening to our 12 Days of Podmas, then you'll know that 2 days ago, on December 5th, I had my mini, which was, all about MLS Cup. And if you listened, you'll know that Sounders are out. They got out in the Western Conference semis last week, 2 weeks ago. I don't know, sometime on November 26th. And I'm just still so sad about that. And now MLS Cup, the final is in 2 days, and Sounders aren't going to be there. So I was thinking, okay, what's the saddest candy cane flavor? I was like, honestly, I don't know. So I'll just choose classic peppermint. Obviously there's nothing wrong with classic peppermint. And if you've been listening, you know that I don't really like peppermint.
Right.
But I actually really do like peppermint candy canes. I just love candy canes. So yum. But I was like, you know what? There's just nothing special about it. And I'm not even I'm not a mini one. I'm not one of the jumbo gigantic ones. Just a regular one. 'Cause I'm sad.
One that
so
you pull
special.
out and it's broken in half. No.
Yes. No. Okay. Yeah, that's the one I am.
When it's broken in the shrink wrap.
Yes. And then you put it back and grab another one, but that one's also broken, but worse.
Right.
Devastated.
2 classic peppermint candy canes today. I love that. If you've also been listening this whole time, you know that we've been giving somewhat interesting updates about our reading, about our 10 before the end. And we figured today, instead of talking about what we're reading right now and how that's going or anything, we would talk about just give one little fun fact about our 10 before the end list. And so we're gonna give what the longest book on our lists are and what the shortest book is, because for me, I already read my longest one, but I'm maybe this will help us be ooh, I know this book is the shortest one. I'll go ahead and read that one next to motivate myself to get through my list or something. Or since we had to go look for how long they were, now we kind of have an idea of what's in the shorter range and what's in the longer range. So now we kind of can plan out our reads a little bit better. So, Issa, what is your longest and shortest book on your list?
Okay, so if you saw my 10 before the end, you saw Twilight on there, and you, like me, are probably thinking, oh my gosh, that is such a hefty book. But I will let you know firsthand, it is not the heftiest. I just found out that Twilight is 498 pages. But one book does have it beat, and that book is Fourth Wing, sitting at a hefty 500 pages.
No.
Wild. And my shortest book is actually my first book that I completed from my time before the end, Eastern Standard, by Sierra Spencer. So, check back in 2 days because that'll be a really fun episode.
It'll be so good.
Hint, hint, She's guest in 2 days on December 9th. So check back. And that one is sitting at 271 pages, but oh my gosh, it was so good. Favorite read off 10 before the end so far because that's the only one I finished.
Love that. Okay, my longest, like I said, I already read it, was The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I didn't write down how long my books actually were, so I don't have exact page numbers like Issa, but I recall, because I just finished this not that long ago, I remember it being like 517, maybe, at the end of the epilogue, so we'll just roll with that. It was at least over 500, and then the shortest I have on there is Call It What You Want by Alyssa De Rogatis. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. I'm so sorry. And that's what I've wanted to read for a long time. So now that I know it's the shortest, I know I could get through that so fast on my Kindle. And it's on there right now. So maybe that'll come next. I don't know. We'll see.
Love. So good.
Amazing. Okay. Well, we are super excited for this episode all about traveling, with this being kind of a topic that we kind of felt was right for the holiday season, whether you're like a college student about to go home for winter break, or you have travel plans coming up to maybe go home for Christmas if you don't live at home, or maybe you're going on a vacation over like the winter break period. So all kinds of things going on, big travel season, and with us both kind of having some recent travels and some new experiences with travels, we figured we'd kind of go through like some of what our best practices and routines are for like packing, prepping, being at the airport, like our best routines, to just like other random things that we think could be helpful, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess we should probably start before we actually like go anywhere. We should probably start with, how to pack. What to pack. What we're packing. Like, are you taking a duffel bag? Are you taking a suitcase, a backpack, a tote? I don't know. Another bag of some sort?
Right. Like I had a good idea. Oh, like a camping backpack. Similar to a duffel.
True.
But I do see a lot of those when I'm traveling. I see a lot of people that have those big, like, camping backpacks.
Yeah. Like, do you have a family? Do you need to take a stroller? Do you have a diaper bag? Do you need to take, I don't know, extra stuff? Do you need, like, a book bag, messenger bag?
Right.
These are all things to think about.
Right. Do you have a pet that you're flying with? Do you have, like, the right things for that? Do you need a wheelchair in the airport? Do you have that figured out? Like, there's so many things that are at, like, the pre-process, which we're obviously not talking about a lot of that stuff. But just in case you need it, it's great that we just listed off so many things for you to kind of, like, I don't know, start brainstorming what your travels look like, because sometimes we're like, yeah, like, I know what day and time my flight is, but then, like, you don't think about the packing part at all, and then, sometimes you get all the way up until, like, the day before and you're packing and you realize, like, oh, like, I need to go to the store and get this, this, and this before I can, like, go on this trip. So it's always good to think about it ahead of time.
Yeah, and obviously it's going to be different for everybody. Personally, I am an overpacker, and I am also a procrastinator, so I pack at the very last minute possible, and I'm packing until I'm out the door.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Like, I have always been an overpacker, and I've tried so many different things to combat that. Like, I've tried to... Okay, like, it's so tough, because I am, like, a procrastinator with packing as well, and I always like to say that it helps me not overpack, and sometimes that's true. It's like hit or miss. Like waiting until last minute to pack could either help you be more realistic and like not overpack as much as you normally would, or it could lead to major overpacking because you're just like scrambling and feeling like you're gonna forget something. And so you're like making sure you have more than you need instead of just being a little more practical. So it's different for everybody. It really is.
Yeah. And I mean, I really wish that for me, like my procrastination packing was like my procrastination when I was in college and writing papers, like first draft, final draft, and then I would get a good grade. But unfortunately, that's not how it works for me.
Everything's a final draft.
Yeah, like when I'm packing, I pack a million things and I end up using maybe 4 of them.
Right.
And so it doesn't help me overthink or not overthink. It doesn't help me be like, I really think I'm being like super realistic when I'm packing. I'm like, okay, so like when I was going to Nebraska and Denver, for example, I was like, okay, well, I know it can be chilly there, so let me take like a long sleeve and let me take a sweatshirt, let me pack a couple pairs of pants just in case, but like I don't want to be wearing like same thing every day. But also like if it's warm, I might want to have a pair of shorts or like short sleeves, like a lighter jacket, something, I don't know, or maybe I'll want to wear a dress, maybe I'll want to wear this or that, and like all the things. And then I ended up only wearing like maybe half the stuff.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I've been thinking about this a lot ever since I just came to come home, is like I was so used to like the last couple times I've traveled, it's been super hot and it's been like super easy to overpack because everything I'm bringing was a lot smaller, right? And so this time it was really hard because I was like, wow, actually, yeah, it's been a while since I've had to pack for the winter for a trip. And like I really felt like I was cramming my stuff into my suitcase because like the one side of it was already full with just like the one sweatshirt I wanted to bring, 2 pairs of sweatpants, and then like the like 2 jeans I decided to on. Like I limited myself, you know, like that whole side of my suitcase was just like full because it was just like bigger clothes. And I was like, what the heck? So then, you know, just finding ways to work with that. And I mean, the winter is a good time to be more practical with your packing because your clothes are bigger, so they're going to take up more space, but at the same time you do need those layers, so it's kind of like you have to be a little bit more like, I don't know, cutthroat about what you're deciding to bring when it's winter.
Yeah, and like I've seen so many videos about like packing and like how to optimize space and like rolling your pants versus just folding them, and like what saves the most space and how you can fit the most stuff in, blah 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 blah, all the things, and I always forget them. And so when it comes time to, I'm like, I don't know what to do.
I feel that. I'm always like, forget the rules about that, and I like to just find what works for me because I make sure I always pack my stuff kind of like the same way, or like I've started kind of having the same way that I pack my bags, and sometimes it varies a little bit, but I find that having the same way I pack it helps me then at the end of the trip get everything packed back in right to where I can fit my stuff and make sure like when I pack my bag I'm like, ooh, is there a little bit of room for if I have like a couple extra things going back with me? Usually like I find a way, you know, but I always am just kind of like, forget all those rules about rolling stuff. Like I cannot remember the last time I rolled something to pack it. Like sometimes I would roll some stuff if it's like smaller clothes, like tops in my packing cubes, but I feel like I actually find more success with just like folding, because you could like jeans especially, I always just fold them because like a folded pair of jeans could be pretty flat and just lay down on top of stuff and not take up a certain amount of room. So I don't want to talk too much about that, but it's definitely weird. Like I'd say my best tip is find what works for you, what order of packing stuff works for you. Like if you want to make sure you put your makeup bag and hair stuff and toiletries and stuff all in your checked bag, or maybe you're someone who likes to put that in your carry-on bag and like divvy your bags up that way. Like it's different for everybody, you know, find what works for you and makes sense where your stuff goes or where your things fit, because maybe you like the way things kind of Tetris together in your suitcase if you're putting your makeup bags in there, or maybe you just want them closer by. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, along with that, just a tip in general is limit your baggage, just because personally I don't want to be lugging around like 8 different bags. If I only have to lug around 1, maybe 2, I'm perfectly happy with that.
I'll say like with the bag thing too, back when I traveled for Tri-Delta when I was a consultant, this was kind of something we had to learn too, because we got to like check one bag with on like our company card, and so then if you wanted another full size like suitcase checked bag that's like not a carry-on size, we would have to pay for that on our own. And so that kind of like helped motivate you to think like maybe you really only need one checked bag. And then so most of us all traveled with like one checked suitcase and then a roller suitcase that's like a carry-on size, and then just one other carry-on bag, which is fine because if you've flown in the last couple of years, you know pretty much almost every flight asks for people to volunteer to check their like roller carry-on bags at the gate for no fee. And so at that time I was really banking on that, and I'd always just like be the first person running up to the flight attendants to be like, yes, take my bag. But because we had to pack for like up to 8 weeks on the road at a time, and that gets a little complicated when you're flying to different parts of the country, usually when the seasons are changing, so you kind of have like summer clothes and more fall winter clothes and just like all of your basic necessities. So I feel like I've learned a thing or two about what do I really need or not. And yeah, it was just like definitely a lesson in like limiting baggage. It helps me a lot now, like know whether I feel like for like a week-long trip, I'm like, I probably could make it work in like just a carry-on bag, but I know myself and I know what I usually like to pack for a trip, and I know that I don't like to limit my shoes too much or something. So like I'd say if it's just a weekend I can do just like a carry-on size bag, but if it's longer than that, I'll just play it safe and do a checked bag, you know?
Yeah. Like if you're flying, I would say knowing your airline and the things that they allow is super important, because like when I went to Nebraska and Denver, I flew Southwest, and Southwest has a policy that, you know, your first 2 checked bags are free. So I was like, yeah, I'll use that. So I packed like a medium-sized suitcase and fit as much as I possibly could in there. And also had my backpack, because like I didn't want to check 2 bags, because I was like, shoot, I'm gonna be driving around in Sam's car, I'm gonna be having to like carry this stuff myself, like I'm not gonna make her carry it like that would be embarrassing. Be like, oh yeah, I'm here, thanks chauffeur, thanks bellboy, bell girl. And so I was like, okay, I honestly I don't really even want to check one bag because I'm scared about them losing my stuff, but beside the point. And so I just checked the one, and then I had my backpackers, like a big North Face, pretty good size, like I could fit a lot of stuff in there that I use as a carry-on, and that can fit under the seat in front of me, because if I don't have to deal with the overhead compartments, I won't. And because I get stressed about like having to put it up there and then having to get it down and like make people wait, but also I just kind of wait until everyone's off the plane and then I'll get off, so I'm like, I don't have anywhere to be. But beside the point. And then like I also had like my crossbody bag that I wear everywhere, which is small, but then on the way home I would just put that in my Ban Camino tote. So fun. So again, like knowing your airline and like their bag policies, super important, like what they do allow. And like sizes of bags is super important to know, because some bags that you might think are small enough to be carry-on actually are not, and you might have to check it, which if you're not flying an airline that comes with like free checked bags, or if you didn't buy a ticket with the free checked bag, or I don't know, something, then you might have to pay a pretty hefty fee for a checked bag.
No, literally. And like you said, yeah, making sure you know what your airline allows, because I don't know, even if you've flown one airline before, the next time you fly the airline, it might not be the same. Like they're always changing, and maybe you didn't know that like they're different ticket fares align with different things. So in like certain airports, and like if it's like a small plane and a smaller airport, usually like maybe an airline you've flown a bunch where your main ticket has always allowed you to have a carry-on and a personal item, maybe you're only allowed to have a personal item. I know that's how it is for me with our small airport, how it used to be. And they used to use United when it was like that. It was just the plane was too small. So making sure like for your specific flight like what your ticket that you bought allows, because maybe you're like, oh yeah, no, like I've flown Alaska before, I can have a carry-on and a personal item, and then you realize like, oh crap, like I'm on a super small flight and I'm only allowed to have a personal item, and they're gonna make me check this carry-on when I get to the gate.
Yeah,
because security's not gonna stop you. Like if you only have your carry-ons, security's gonna let you go through with your carry-ons.
Yeah. I mean, also, I forgot about this part, but like also like with the sizing restrictions, because usually it's like carry-ons can be like 60 inches like height, width, and I don't remember what it's called, height, width, and
yeah, it's like it's like 16 by 21,
yeah,
or like 16 by 20 by 8 or something,
or it's like as long as all the measurements add up to like 60 inches, you're good. So sometimes it's like that, but also there's like the weight. If like a checked bag, if it's like, at least for Southwest, I think it was like if it was more than 60 pounds, like they had to charge extra for basically for like a fat suitcase, because like the extra weight on the plane like could, you know, be bad. So they need like the oh my gosh, why can I not think of any words right now? Gosh. But basically like they'll charge you more if it's more than a certain weight for a checked bag, or usually a carry-on it's fine with size, but a checked bag, be careful with the weight, because you might have to pay more. It was like $100 fee for an oversized bag. Like, oversized bag. That's what it is.
Oh, oversized baggage. That's so funny. I'd say I've seen like most airlines, their limit be 50 too.
Yeah.
And I feel like a checked bag fee ranges anywhere from like, I think the lowest you can find is like, I mean, besides Southwest having theirs be free, is like $30 to $45 is usually the range. So then once you're oversized, even if you're over by like, I mean, I know people who have gotten lucky where their bag has been 52 pounds and the person like lets it go through just fine. But I also know people who like it's been 51 and they make them take stuff out unless they want to pay like the extra like $25. I think with like Alaska, maybe, I don't know, I think it's like 75 instead of 30 if you're overweight or something.
It's
if you're overweight.
But no, if you're
like, that sounded so bad the way
if your bag is overweight. Yeah, no, it's absolutely wild, but that is something to be so wary of. Because personally, I don't want to just shell out like extra money just because, or like if I'm not flying Southwest and I have to pay for a checked bag, I don't want to find that out later and be like, oh, that's fine, I'll just pay for a checked bag because this is all the stuff I want to bring. Like, no, if I'm flying with other people and I want to bring a lot of stuff and it only fit in a checked bag, I'm going to be sharing that checked bag with someone.
Also, okay, I know like for me, I don't even have like the biggest size of suitcase for a checked bag. Like mine's like the next, like more of like a medium one, like the next one up in that line from a carry-on. And the heaviest I've gotten it was, I think really recently, I took it to New Orleans and it was like 42 pounds. And I was like, whoa, I think that's the heaviest I've ever gotten in this suitcase, because I don't think I could get to 50 unless I like genuinely tried with the size of that suitcase.
Like unless you put rocks
so I think
in
it's
there.
like, yes, it's not huge to worry about unless you know that what you're packing is really heavy.
Like packing so many shoes will make it really heavy.
Yeah, too many shoes or books or something. But yeah,
shoes and books.
Yeah, try to wear your heavy shoes or something.
I wear all my heaviest stuff, like all my biggest stuff. I wear like giant coats and like pants, and I wore like my chunky filas, so then I wouldn't have to pack them.
My weird travel thing, I'm very particular about the way my bags are, and it stems from the same thing as Issa. Like, I will avoid using the overhead compartments at all costs. Like, I just don't like doing it. That's why I always race to like have them check my carry-on suitcase if like for some reason I have to not check it. And I just don't like, because usually mine's still kind of heavy. I don't like the thought of having to lift it, because like the aisles in the plane are really narrow and people walk super close behind you. Like people get right up against you when you're like in the line like trying to board, and I just hate the thought of like trying to lift it up, and then people are always chaotically like lifting theirs up and putting them in the ones super early on, like the first open ones they see, even when they're sitting way further back than you. So it's just like you can rarely put it right above your row. And I don't know, it just makes me so much more anxious than you need to be when you're boarding. And I also had a really embarrassing experience once where my carry-on suitcase is carry-on measurements, but like carry-on measurements have gone up since they started making these newer planes, because there are some really old planes that are still being used by these airlines. Like I know Alaska still has some really old ones just because they've held up, but their overhead compartments are really small because they're for carry-on measurements from way back when, and they can't make them bigger. So sometimes if you're going on a small plane or an old plane, your carry-on suitcase that is like the biggest size it could be to be a carry-on does not fit. And so I don't like risking it because, yeah, one time I was flying to New Mexico and I went to like put it up and it looked like it would fit, but it would not fit. And it was really embarrassing, and the flight attendant came and was like trying to make it fit because they didn't call for anybody to like complimentary check their bags because I guess our flight wasn't full enough and she couldn't get it to fit in the thing. And so she had to like take it, but like all the people were lined up behind me to also board this plane. Like I was one of the first rows after first class, and so everybody was waiting, and she had to like take it and tag it and wait for people to board, and it was just really chaotic and kind of embarrassing. So I just never want to do that again. And it does fit in most planes. Like I don't think I've been on a plane too small recently, and usually they know. If now I'd say like the airlines know that most people will have bags that aren't going to fit in them, and they'll say like this is an older plane, even like big duffels might not fit very well, so they like help you and try to check as many as possible before. But yeah, I avoid that. And so there's been so many times where I've checked that carry-on size suitcase like before I even go through security because I just don't want to deal with it. But my other thing, oh my gosh, I try to make sure that my purse fits in. I don't usually use big purses, but I make sure my purse fits in whatever bag I'm using as like my personal item, like the one that I'm putting under my seat. And I just do that because it kind of makes sure that there's extra room in that bag for if I like get another book or something. Like I can always take my purse out, especially if I check that carry-on suitcase, then I really only have one bag. So I can always like take that bag out, or like when I get to my destination, I'll pull my purse out of that bag and there's just a little extra room and it's always just right there. And then you don't have to worry about like trying to pack a purse in your big suitcase or something. And okay, this trip, this is the first time I've ever done this, but like usually every other time that I've checked my big suitcase, I do have my small carry-on suitcase, and I did not do that for this trip. Like I only packed my big suitcase, checked it, and then what's usually my like under seat bag, I used that as more of like a carry-on bag, and I actually did put that up in the overhead because I'm not afraid of the overhead if it's just like a small bag that like could go under my seat too, like a backpack or something. So I tossed that up in the overhead, and then I brought my Ban Camino tote bag to go under the seat with me. And so that tote bag only had like my water bottle, my purse, 2 paperback books, my Kindle, and my headphones, and then like chargers. That's all that was in there. And I felt so carefree about all my stuff. And I just like, I don't know, it really just goes to say like, make sure you're just setting yourself up for success and minimize any stress you think might come your way. Like, you know yourself best, and if you've flown before, you know what makes you stressed when you're flying. So just doing those things, maybe it's just the way you pack your stuff, helps kind of minimize the stress of, like, for me, it's like trying to board fast and not be in anybody's way. Like, some things make people anxious and don't make other people anxious. So you know yourself best and know kind of what maybe some of those little minuscule things are that you could do to help yourself out. But yeah, it was awesome for this trip. I'm like, wow, I'm going to do this every time, like as much as I can. Like, because I think I honestly probably could have squeezed my tote bag into my carry-on bag too. So I just know I have like a lot of extra room, or I can move things around. And if I buy a couple things at home, like I can probably fit them in something. So yeah, that was really long, but I just wanted to share my my specific packing ways, because it just was awesome. And I only really did it like that because the last couple times, like I haven't had to bring my laptop on a trip with me, but since I wanted to record and do stuff for the podcast, like I was like, oh man, I have to bring my laptop. And so since I was putting that in that bag, I was like, ooh, now I need I don't have room for as much stuff in this like personal item as I do usually. So then I just kind of had to rethink, pack a little differently, and it worked out awesome.
That's so good. Oh, love that. Yeah, I feel like that's probably all we could think of. Whoa, that was weird.
Right, like about bags. Like, I honestly, the more we say, it's probably like you guys are annoyed because you don't need to know every nook and cranny of how I pack my suitcase.
Totally fair, but yeah. I mean, I've never traveled by train or by boat, so can't really say much about those. But also, like, if you're driving, like going on a road trip or something, you probably, maybe you're driving by yourself, but I'd venture to say that most people, when they go on a road trip, probably aren't driving by themselves. So, like, the car only has so much space. And then if you're driving with other people, there's even less so much space. So that also limits how much you can take. And then that limits the bags you can take. And so that's also nice knowing, like, okay, I can't take all this, but I can take some things. Or like if you are traveling with people, whether it be by plane, by boat, by train, by car, by whatever, you know, you can talk about what you're bringing. You can talk about like, oh, you're bringing this too? Cool. Maybe I don't have to bring mine. Or, oh my gosh, wait, I have enough for both of us. Like, cool, I'll just bring it. Like, don't worry about yours, you know? Save space that way.
No, definitely. And my other thing of like saving space, I'm kind of jumping ahead like on our notes a little bit, but if you are trying to think of things to like eliminate, I always just think of like, how easy is this thing to replace when I'm at my destination? Or like if I'm thinking of like, if I'm thinking about buying like sunscreen at Target before I even go on my trip, and it's like a trip where it's like, well, I could just get it while I'm there. I don't necessarily like always plan to get it there. Like sometimes I bring my own sunscreen usually, or like face sunscreen and stuff. But then I like just if I'm like staying near a Target, Walmart, or like other general store, like a Walgreens or something, then I'm like, this is something that's so easy to replace when I'm there, and the price won't be different, like usually. So I kind of just say like, oh, is it high stakes of me to not bring this? Or is it low stakes? And like those low stakes things are, it's really easy for me to just get this when I'm there versus I absolutely need this like when I get there, or like I need this before I get there. So it's like, that's also, if it's like a high stakes item for you, if it's like super essential, then maybe, you know, this needs to go in a carry-on versus my like checked bag, because in case that bag gets lost, you want to make sure you still have it, type of thing.
Yeah, that's also so good. Love that.
But yeah, you can definitely like, you can cut a lot of stuff out. Like a lot of those toiletry things are like makeup is not something you want to overpack. Like I always just pack my makeup bag pretty minimally. Like I make sure I have enough to like do a full face of makeup if I want to, but half the time I don't even touch it when I'm on my trip. So I just do it minimally. Don't bring everything. You don't need to have all your different options of eyeshadow palettes and everything. So
LOL at me who brought everything when I went to visit.
I mean, if you have room, I'd say do it. Especially where we were doing like a photo shoot and stuff, and going to concerts. Like it was more special.
So like it really, it did, like, you know, your trip. You know what you're gonna want to do. You know, like what you like. For me, I know I love doing like a fun little makeup look for concerts. Like I think it's fun. And so I was like, okay, this is important to me to bring like my eyeshadow palettes and like to bring like all the makeup I own, even though I don't really know what I'm doing. But beside the point, like that's something I like to do. And so I was gonna make an effort. I was making it a priority to bring all that stuff. And whereas like other things, I was like, okay, well, I already have a pair of pants. I have a pair of sweats. I don't think I need a second pair of sweats. I don't think I need a third pair of thick pants in case it gets really cold. So I like figuring out where your priorities lie. And yeah, like Sam was saying, how easy it is to replace something when you're at your destination. Just kind of figuring that out, honestly, making almost like a list of like, okay, priority 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, and like going down the list. And it's like, okay, those are your priorities. That's what you want to pack first. That's what you want to make sure you have room for first. And then all the other things, like, okay, it's gonna be sunny and I want to take sunscreen, but I can't take like a full bottle of sunscreen in my carry-on, and I don't want to check a bag, so I'll just get some sunscreen when I'm there. Easy.
Yeah. So easy. Something I tried to do recently, I usually never do this, but I tried to like build outfits when I was going to New Orleans, just because it was more of a special trip where it was my sister's bachelorette trip. I knew we didn't go as extreme as some, but it was like I knew there'd be nights where we were like going out and maybe wanted more like going out type outfits, or nights where we were gonna like try to go to maybe even like a nicer dinner, or days where we wanted to be in like comfy like walking clothes if we were gonna be doing a lot of walking. So I tried to build outfits a little bit, also because I was like, I want to just dress cool. Like I just like want to be experimental. I want to wear outfits that maybe I haven't like worn yet, because like this is a place where I feel like I could just like dress really creatively and it's just like cool. So I kind of like, at least with like, I think I did like 3 or 4 outfits that I like pre-made. And I just laid them out on the floor and I took a little picture of them together so that I could remember that I planned to wear those things together, because the last thing I want to do is like think of this outfit and then pack it, but then actually like maybe that shirt goes with like all the pants I brought and I wear it with a different outfit, or like, I don't know, you can always rewear things on trips and in real life. Like it's totally fine to rewear clothes. But like, what if I wore it with like an active outfit and we walked for like miles and miles and I got so sweaty, and then now I don't want to wear that top again. And now I can't wear that outfit because I didn't bring any other top that goes with those pants or something, which that's very, I feel like, unrealistic to happen now, especially if you're making sure like that you have multiple options for each thing. But I felt like it helped me not overpack as much, because I kind of just like made sure I had the stuff for those outfits and had a couple like backup tops and bottoms. So, but also at the end of the day, like just making sure you have enough clothes and are prepared for the weather. Like Issa said, she was like, what if it's hot and I need shorts? Or what if it's cold and I need a jacket? Like I feel like you always have to have some sort of jacket, even if it's not like a full-on winter jacket, just as long as you have something. Or like I always like layer up while I'm traveling. Like I like to wear like a hoodie while I'm like on the plane, but if I'm too hot I could take it off and have a t-shirt on, and then maybe I actually also had a jacket on over that hoodie if it's like the winter time, and I just take that jacket off and shove it under the seat on the plane, you know? Like I feel like if you just layer up your travel day outfit, it makes it easy to make sure you have your jackets, and then you don't have to worry about squeezing it in your suitcase. And also like underwear and socks. Those are like the 2 things that I always go way over the amount of days of my trip.
Same.
Then like you're never in a scramble. You never know what like style of underwear you want to wear that day. Like every day I'm like particular. I'm like, I'm kind of feeling more like these ones and not these. So all the options.
Or you never know if you're gonna like pee your pants twice in one day, or if you're gonna like sit in some sort of goo and then have to, you know, change the like seeps through your pants to your underwear. Yeah, so like honestly, I'm more than okay with overpacking underwear and socks. Like I will pack at least 3 pairs of underwear for every day, and I'll probably pack twice as many socks as I need.
Right.
So
like it just makes sense.
Because you never know what can happen when you're traveling. You never know what can happen when you're just living life and things happen, accidents happen, and you pee your pants. I'm not saying I peed my pants when I was in Nebraska and Denver, but like if I did, I'd be grateful I brought so much underwear.
Right. Or like I've been really risky with this because I've never had my bags lost, but something that we kind of learned in our training when we started being consultants was that we should be putting if we're not traveling in a nice outfit, we should have a nice outfit in our carry-on bag and back up like underwear or socks and shoes or whatever. Like just be prepared to have like a nicer presenting outfit in your carry-on bag, because for that job it was like you don't know if the day you're getting off the plane is like the same day that your schedule is. Like usually travel days weren't as packed, but if you have a really short visit, you could be like getting off the plane in the morning, going right to campus and starting officer meetings, starting meetings with the like campus, like fraternity and sorority life office. Like you never know what you're getting yourself into on your travel day. And if your checked bag got lost and you're not going to get it back for a couple hours, but you have to get like picked up and taken to campus, like you might not get your bag back till the next day or something. So you just got to be ready to like have some backup underwear, have like nicer pieces to like have another outfit for the next day in case your bag got lost.
Yeah. Definitely recommend packing an extra outfit. Like, honestly, whether it's nice or not, like, at least be, like, somewhat presentable, you know? Like,
yeah,
you're traveling, you're wearing comfy clothes, but you're also somewhat presentable. So, just have another outfit.
Yeah, just make sure you have what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I always make sure that I pretty much always have, like, my basic toiletries I also need in my carry-on bag. Like, I make sure that my toothbrush is in my carry-on bag. I make sure that like I always put my makeup bag, and then I have another little toiletry bag that mainly has like hair ties, deodorant, toothbrush, and then like a bag where I also put like if I didn't wear my earrings or necklaces or whatever, like all that stuff is, and like my hairbrush, those are always in my little carry-on bag because it's just not something that I want to like not have the next day if the worst happens, you know?
Yeah, like, so I still sleep with my baby blanket, my blankie, and then I also sleep with, like, a teddy bear every night. I risked it and I put my teddy bear in my checked bag. I was like, you know what? Fine. Like, I don't have space for this in my backpack. But I was like, there's absolutely no way I'm going to put my blankie in my checked bag. Like, I need to have that with me because what if they lose my bags? And they didn't, well, my singular bag. But, so, like, if you have like personal belongings like that, definitely recommend keeping that on your person and like with you so that, you know, if you're an anxious person like me, and are always thinking, oh my gosh, they're gonna lose my bag. Oh my gosh, what if we run out of fuel midway through the flight and we have to land in the ocean? Well, at least I'll have my blankie with me and I won't have to go digging through the ocean for my checked bag with my blankie in it, you know? And this is what I think about when I'm on a plane. Even if I'm not flying over an ocean. Like, we're gonna divert.
Right.
But yeah, so like Sam was saying, take all the things put things that like you really feel like are big necessities in your carry-on. That's always on your person, that it's always going to be in your sight. You're never going to like relinquish control over to anyone else. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just good strategy. Along with that, like some of those things I put in my carry-on because they're essentials, I also put them in my carry-on because they are the easiest things to forget. Like the things you still need to get ready in the morning, like if you packed your suitcase the night before and most of your carry-on bag the night before, and then in the morning you like still need to like brush your teeth, you're doing your hair, whatever you're still doing, like your deodorant. If you don't have different ones, I have different ones because I like spray deodorant, but you can't really fly with like aerosol cans. So then I have like a different one for traveling. So there's like those things that are easy to forget because you still need them the next day. And so making sure that then like when you get ready in the morning, it's like, oh, I do all my things to get ready and I don't put them back in their normal place. I put them away. Like as I use each one, I go and put it in my carry-on because I don't want to forget it. But at the end of the day, like a toothbrush, some of the stuff, like they're low stakes. You can get it really easily at the airport even, or when you're home, or like I'm home and I have so many toothbrushes that aren't open from the dentist in our bathroom here. Like but you never know. Like it is easy to forget those things that you still need to get ready, even if they are low stakes. So just like making sure you like, I don't know, use them and then pack them.
Yeah, like what did I forget when I went to Nebraska and Denver? My toothbrush. What did I use that morning? My toothbrush. So like really, you know, you can have the greatest intentions, but you can still forget it. And I forgot it. So live, laugh, love. But, oh my gosh, also, charge all of your devices. Like all your devices, all your accessories, like headphones, watch, Kindle, phone, iPad, computer. Bring all your chargers. Make sure everything's charged. Like, you don't want to be sitting at the airport, getting out your headphones, and be like, oh my gosh, they're dead. And you don't have any backups.
I would cry if I had to experience a flight or a whole travel day without my headphones. Like, I just like barely remember what it's like to be on a plane without these headphones on.
Yeah. I don't have anything other than that to say about this whole thing. Like, it's so easy to forget to charge your stuff because my headphones, pretty long battery life, but I know that the one time I'm gonna like go on a flight and I forget to charge them, they're gonna be virtually dead. And then instead of wearing my headphones at the airport, they're gonna be sitting charging if I can find an available outlet. And that's even if there are outlets nearby, working outlets nearby.
Yeah, I have gone to so many airports over the last year, and that's like the whole thing. Like, you never know if you're going to a gate with little to no outlets, like especially at like airports that you're doing connections at, because I might be so used to the fact that like the newer gates at SeaTech, like they do have a lot of outlets, or like certain airports, like they're set up really nice where like almost every seat has them. But then you get to an airport where there's like only one little section of seats with plugs, and do they work? Maybe not. And then if you need to get up and go to the bathroom, like you need to take all your stuff with you, so you get back and then people are sitting in your spot charging their stuff. So it's just like, it's complicated. So it is hard to remember to charge everything, because the only device of mine that I charge every single day is my phone and sometimes my Kindle. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, now I need to remind myself, charge your phone tonight, charge your headphones, charge the Kindle. I'm not that intense about charging my laptop because I don't use it on the plane, but it's just like, charge everything, make sure all the chargers get packed it's easy to pack the chargers too, because then when you take it off in the morning, you can just like pack it with its charger or something. But oh my gosh, on this trip, so my Kindle, the only charger I had for my Kindle back in Nebraska is this tiny little cord. And this tiny little cord also is so broken to the point where it only works if it's like being pushed forward a little bit. So I always have to charge my Kindle upside down and like with the top of it on the floor, and then the part with the charger is like leaning against a wall so that it's like pushing it forward and it's charging it. Okay, well, I set it up perfectly that night. And then in the morning, I go to pack my Kindle, and when I unplug it, it flashes the little thing at me that shows that it's dead. And I was like, no way, because I need this for the plane. And I get to the Omaha airport, and the gates there are like really not updated, and the only outlet things are like up high behind some of the seats. And I'm like, that doesn't work very easily for me, because it's nice when it's like on the seats at the gate, because I could like plug it in and set it against my seat. Well, this one, it was so high up that my cord almost did not reach to like plug it in, and then like I was like, what am I gonna lean it on? Like, it didn't reach all the way down to the seat. So I had to balance my Kindle so carefully. Like, the top of it was on the top of my seat, and like the cord was like against the block to like push it forward. It was very risky, but it worked, and it did get my Kindle up to like 45% for my flight. So
my word.
So it was a very slow charging outlet as well, because I was there for like 2 hours.
Oh, my word. Yeah.
Crazy story.
I'm also a very paranoid person, and have watched lots of shows like CSI and like Criminal Minds and stuff. And, you know, CSI Cyber, that one was a scary one, because there was an episode about an airport one where like all these people with their like plugging their phones in or like any devices into like the airport outlets, or connecting to the airport Wi-Fi, or having their passports on their bodies, and like stuff happened to them. I was like, oh, I don't want to get hacked. I don't want viruses. So I'm a very paranoid person, and like very wary about that kind of stuff. So like, honestly, I only plug my stuff in and connect to airport Wi-Fi's if I absolutely have to. Sorry if I just made you guys paranoid or anything, or scared, but like nothing.
Right, like,
will anything likely happen?
No.
But if it does, hopefully I'm not a victim of it.
I actually, when I was at the airport in Atlanta, I was trying to, so when I was flying to New Orleans, the whole drama was that I forgot to actually like download and queue up the books on my Kindle, so I couldn't read any of them on the plane once I was in airplane mode because like they weren't downloaded. Oops. So I get to my connecting airport, and I'm in like the international terminal, and for some reason my Kindle, like, I could not get myself on this airport Wi-Fi on there, because the way that like when you're connecting to an airport Wi-Fi or something, you know how it takes you into like your browser to like do all those things to approve you, and then it lets you browse. Well, if you don't have like data already, or if you're not on like a super new device, it doesn't do that process very well. So my Kindle like could not do that. And so then I couldn't download any of my books, but I kept trying to like, I've put my phone hotspot to my Kindle before, and it just like wasn't recognizing that my phone was in reach. So I'm trying all these different unlocked Wi-Fis that I see. Well, because they were also like airport ones, you know? So I click on this one, and it's like finally looking like it's gonna work. But then here I am, I was trying to connect to the like Wi-Fi that's for like all their security stuff, and like a warning thing comes up, or like stuff comes up for me to like do like intense credentials, because it's the stuff that like all their official stuff is on. And I like try to get out of it so fast. I'm like, forget this network. Like, I'm like doing all the stuff because I was so scared that the people were gonna come after me for like, I thought they were gonna think I was like trying to hack into their system, you know? So, but no one came for me.
Oh my gosh, that's my nightmare.
It was
so
wild.
Much,
it was really wild.
So much airport anxiety. Live, laugh, love.
No, I have so much, and I'm like, wow, this episode is like really exposing just how like anxious of people we are. But I'm sure like it's also so like nice and validating for so many people, because I feel like airports are also a place where people who are not this anxious in their everyday life experience this type of anxiety, you know? And so we thought it would be nice to have like a section that's more about like overcoming the airport anxiety, because honestly, like, you still feel it lingering even when you do like have the things that work best for you. Like, I feel like you still can't help but like have like the feeling in your stomach, or like still like having anxious thoughts happen when you're like in the airport or when you're on the plane or something. So just trying to like figure out all the different things you could do to overcome that, or like try to make it like as stress-free as possible and like not add any extra anxiety. But my best practice, and it sounds really silly, but just having a very specific routine for the airport. So like I always go straight to my gate after I get through TSA, even if I'm really early. And spoiler alert, I'm always really early, because like I'm so anxious about not getting to the airport early enough. Like, ever since I've gotten pre-check, I've been a little more lax. And I'm like, I don't feel like I need to be there 2 hours early, because the pre-check gates always get through like really fast. So, but if I'm still checking a bag, then I'm like, no, I need all the time in the world in case something happens. I do not want to like be there too late to check my bag. So I get through TSA super fast, and so then I'm really early. But I go to my gate right away, because I just want to make sure that I know exactly where it is, even if it's like SeaTac and I've been to every single gate, like, or every single terminal, not every gate. That's wild. And I just like want to make sure I know exactly where it is, make sure it hasn't moved. And then I take a minute to chill when I get there, and I decide if I'm going to get a coffee or any food, because depending on what terminal you're in, like, you maybe had to like take the little plane train to get there, and you're like further away from some of the other food you'd rather have than what's in your terminal. And so you like need to prepare yourself to like go back through, or maybe on your way there you're like, oh, I'm not going to go to my gate yet, because I know that this gate doesn't have very many options for me. So yeah, I basically just go there, chill, decide if I'm going to get food, coffee, and I usually do. So I get that, and I try to get like any drinks pretty early, just so that I can try and finish it so I can go to the bathroom before my flight. But yeah, I usually like go to the bathroom right away, just because usually the airport anxiety just like makes me feel like I have to pee even if I don't. And then I always try to go to the bathroom again like 10 minutes before boarding time. Just because, like, if I can avoid peeing on my flight, I would like to. And if it's a short flight, I usually don't have to, but this one was 4 hours, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, honestly, same to like all of that. Um, I like knowing where everything is. So once I sorry, I don't know what is going on today. Like why I can't talk. Okay, same to all of that. I like knowing where everything is. So once I've gathered my bearings, I feel okay walking around and doing what I want or need to do. But honestly, when I'm at an airport, what is there that I need to do other than get on the plane? I mean, I guess like go to the bathroom and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, when I was sitting at my gate, on my way to Denver at SeaTac, I was sitting there for like an hour or two, maybe an hour and a half. I don't know, just reading on my Kindle, and I was like, dang, I kind of want food, but I absolutely don't want to get up and go somewhere. So I was like, oh well, here we are. I'm just gonna stay here. If I don't have to move, I won't. But yeah, I definitely agree. I will do everything I can to avoid going to the bathroom on a plane, just because like that's so scary. All bouncing around and stuff. What if you hit turbulence when you're on the toilet? That's scary. But I did have to go to the bathroom when I flew home from Denver last month. Oh my gosh, it's almost been 2 months. It's crazy. Well, yeah, almost 2 months. Anyway, like it feels like it was last week, honestly, to me still.
It's like I have to scroll so far back in my camera roll to find our pictures
Same.
from then.
Oh my gosh.
I'm always like, wait, that happened before
No,
this?
literally. Absolutely wild. But yeah, I'll do everything I can to avoid using the plane toilet, but you know what? Sometimes duty calls and you just have to.
I also what was I thinking? Oh, like when I went to New Orleans, my connection in Atlanta was so long. Like, it wasn't that long, but it was long enough to where it's like, I'm kind of bored, and my gate was super uncomfortable. I was like, why didn't they do, like, comfier seats? And it was, like, around lunchtime, and I didn't really vibe with the food options that were in my terminal, so I got back on the plane train, and I went on the airport map first and found what food I wanted. I was like, yes, I'll have some Jersey Mike's right now. And so then I like got on the plane train, took it to the other terminal, even though it's like chaotic. I'm like, I usually would never do this, but I was like, no, I want this specific food, so I'm going to go to the only terminal that has it. And I went and I got it, and then went right back to my gate and sat there and ate it.
Yeah, I love that. How fun. I love traveling.
Yeah. Same. Ooh, I just thought of something, like, if you're driving, like, I know that for us, a scary thing with driving home from school was always that, like, the mountain pass could get, like, bad in the winter, so always just being prepared, like, if you need to take off early, like, I don't know, it's, like, really scary. Like, I had to do that once, like, for, like, Thanksgiving break or something. That sounds really random, but it totally was. And I think I was gonna like stay in Pullman the whole weekend after like break started, and then I was gonna go home on that Monday. But then my mom was like I had to get my boyfriend from the airport Friday night. That night she was like, the weather's really bad, like snowstorms are coming, like it's probably gonna get really bad at the end of the weekend, so like you need to drive home tomorrow. So then it was like speed packing and then like getting in the car and driving on Saturday, but it worked out in the end. Like I think just like paying attention to the weather forecast for where you're driving, if you're driving, just making sure you're not hitting bad winter weather, and maybe leave a little earlier, or if you're like stopping for a night, check the weather for them that next day of driving and being like, okay, do we need to wake up a little earlier and leave early to miss something? Do we need to stay in this town a little later in a day to make sure we're not hitting bad stuff? Like, definitely take the safer option, even if it inconveniences you a little bit. Like, maybe you need to take a different highway, but it's going to add an hour and a half to your trip. Like, I'm sure wherever you're going, the people waiting for you would rather you get there a little later than planned than risk something dangerous happening. So just be safe and pay attention to your routes and the weather, and just make the right decision. It's always better to be safe than to like look back and be like, man, I still could have gone that way.
Yeah, I agree.
Amazing.
How fun. I think that there were lots of good things said this episode, and honestly, a lot of things that I don't necessarily always think about while traveling. And so this will be good for me, at least, to come back to and be like, oh yeah, I remember this conversation. That was good. We both had some good stuff to say, and maybe I should really try harder not to pack as much stuff, even if no matter how much I really want to.
Yeah, no, literally. This trip was a challenge, but I was like, no, Sam, you don't need more than 2 sweatpants. You don't need more than 2 pairs of jeans. And I was like, you know what? It's okay if you need to do a small load of laundry.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of another 12 Days of Podmas episodes. And if you've been listening, you know that we're not doing our favorite thing of every episode, which is Song of the Week, which is how we close all of our regular episodes. But instead, we're saying something we're thankful for and something we're looking forward to. So, Sam, what is something you are thankful for and what is something that you are looking forward to?
Okay, so for something I'm thankful for, I figured I'd stay on theme with this episode, and I'm just really thankful that I had safe travels back home. Where I live in Nebraska was supposed to be getting snow the weekend I left, but they got their snow on Friday and Saturday instead of Thursday when I had to get to the airport. So the highway was nice and safe for me to get dropped off at the airport and for Zeke to make it back home after dropping me off. And then like nothing chaotic happened with my flight and anything. And then my mom and I had some light traffic on the way home. Like, it was very safe. Like, nothing was scary about my trip home. So it was just a good, safe travel day. And then, something I'm looking forward to. Okay, guys, this sounds silly, but finally making my butter braid. And if you don't know what a butter braid is, I did not know either. Look it up. It's like a little pastry thing. It's not little. Mine's actually huge. But some kids came to my door in my apartment complex and rang my doorbell. And I go outside and they're like, would you like to buy a butter braid? I have all these flavors. Like, we're selling them for the middle school. And I was like, yes, please. And they were like $15 each. And I just gave the kid a 20 and got a classic one and was just like, keep the extra $5, like, for your troubles. And right, I was like, keep it for your school. And yeah, then it was like a couple weeks later, he came to my door and said, here's your butter braid. And so I put it in my freezer, and I wanted to make it like 3 different times, but I never read the instructions. So you actually have to take it out of the freezer and let it like sit. You have to like let it thaw for like 12 hours before you can bake it. And so every time I want to make it, I can't because I forgot to thaw it. So I think when I get back from my trip, I'm going to make my butter braid.
I love that. That's so fun. Oh my gosh. Something I'm thankful for is just, like all of the relationships in my life. I've tried to make it a big point, at least in the past couple of years, to just be extra gracious and grateful and just show like lots of gratitude to like all the relationships in my life, like friendships, my family, my friends. I just said friendships. Okay, whatever. But yeah, just because relationships are so important. Like, I always say life is all about relationships because that's truly what I believe. And so showing gratitude, and yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. LOL. But something I'm looking forward to, also staying on theme with this episode, is future travels and experiences, like when Sam and I are gonna go to Utah to see Niall Horan in July. It's gonna be so fun. Can't wait.
I'm so excited for that. Like, I often forget about that. Like, I'm glad it's so far away because we have so much time to like plan, and at this point we did not spend money on that.
Yeah.
Like, we did not buy those
Literally.
tickets. No, we did.
But yeah, so much fun. Another fun day of Podmas, and I'm so stoked for the next. Oh my gosh, we're more than halfway done. There's only 5 more after this.
Wild.
That's so sad. Oh, wait. Yeah,
Dang.
5 more. I almost said 4 more, but it's 5 more after this. So if you're not already, make sure to follow us on whatever stream platform you use, and then also like rate and review, because that's fun. And then also follow us on Instagram at likewise_pod. And actually 2 days ago, we did announce the winners of our giveaway. So unfortunately, that's not open anymore. But we are really hoping to do more giveaways in the future, so keep your eyes and ears peeled for those. Because this one was a lot of fun.
Yes, and it was so much fun. And we're so excited because tomorrow is another day where we're giving you 2 episodes instead of 1, where both Issa and I are going to be giving you a little rendition on like gift guide themed episodes.
Yes.
So that'll be really exciting. We hope you've been liking like the balance of full episodes with both of us, days where we both have an episode and you get a little bonus, and then like those couple days that we just had where Issa and I kind of dived into different topics. So we've just loved all the support we've been getting.
I'm so excited. I love this. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the days. And yeah, Sam, thank you so much for spending another portion of your evening with me. So fun as always. And I hope you just have a really holly jolly rest of your day.
Thanks, Issa, and likewise to you all.
Bye.